Hi everyone, I am Evie, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioner, owner and head coach of Holistically Restored. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to collect for the Dutch Plus. If you are unfamiliar with what a Dutch test is, please check out my other YouTube video, which is how to take a Dutch test. That goes into detail about what the Dutch is, why to take it, what information you can get from it, and so on. If you are interested in taking a Dutch test, please reach out to me for questions. This is something that I use with my clients and on myself, and I'm happy to give more information on. You can also schedule a free consultation at the link below that links you to my website, and we can get in touch in that way as well. As I mentioned, I'm going to be going over the Dutch Plus. There are several different types of Dutch tests. I prefer to use this one personally and with clients because of the really comprehensive view that you get at the hormone production. And so this is the one that I will be going into detail about. But again, there are several other ones that you can look at on their website as well. All of the materials that you will need to collect the Dutch will be in this kit that will be mailed to you. In the kit, you will find instructions, foods to avoid such as bananas, fava beans, and avocados for 48 hours prior to collection, as that impacts your organic acid results. You'll find a requisition form. You will find the materials needed for your urine collection and your saliva collection. You will find a bag to mail back your collection. If you're in the United States, the bag already has the postage required to send back. If you're out of the United States or in particular states within the US, additional postage may be required. Before collecting your samples, you want to fill out the requisition form. The requisition form is going to have questions about any hormones that you're currently on, any medications you're on, and all the supplements that you might be taking. You'll also be filling out on the right-hand side details of when you're collecting which sample. So you'll fill that out as you actually collect, but I think it's easier to fill out the requisition form with your medical history before you actually start collecting. All right, so time to collect. If you are a woman who is cycling regularly, that means that you are ovulating regularly and you are menstruating regularly, then you will be collecting 5 to 7 days after you ovulate. For someone with a 28-day cycle, this means that you would collect any time between days 19 and 21 of your cycle. Remember that day 1 of your period is day 1 of your cycle. So if you have a 30-day cycle, you would then shift that to 5 to 7 days after you ovulate, which might look different than days 19 to 21. If you are a man, you can collect any time of the month. If you are a woman who is cycling irregularly or not cycling at all, then check out the video that Dutch provides on when you should be collecting your test.
Remove the collection device from the resealable bag. Before collecting, write your name, date, and the time on the back. To collect, saturate the filter paper by urinating directly onto it, or urinating in a cup, then dipping the filtered paper into the cup for 5 seconds. Lay flat to dry for 24 hours before closing the collection device, and then place them back into the resealable bag. Remove the tube from the resealable bag and write your name, date, and time on the tube. Remove the blue cap and place the cotton swab in your mouth. I'm not going to touch it here, but you're going to take that and place it in your mouth. Leave it in your mouth until fully saturated, but don't go over 5 minutes. Once it's saturated, place the cotton swab back into the tube and avoid touching it as much as possible. Do not remove the inner tube. Place the saliva sample in the freezer until ready to ship.
Stick to your typical wake and sleep schedule and stay as close to the timeline listed in the directions as possible. A few things to consider for a collection day. You want to limit your fluid intake to 40 ounces for the entire day. You're going to avoid caffeine, exercise, and alcohol on day of collection. And be mindful of the times that you have to restrict food and fluid before collecting at different times throughout the day.
When collecting sample number 1, collect urine and saliva upon waking. Set a timer to go off 30 minutes later to collect sample number 2. Do not brush your teeth, floss, or eat or drink in that first hour of waking and collecting. Limit yourself to light activities like getting dressed and showering. And don't forget to put your saliva sample in the freezer after this collection. For collection number 2, this is 30 minutes after sample number 1. Collect saliva only, then set another timer for another 30 minutes. For collection number 3, this is 30 minutes after sample number 2 and 60 minutes after sample number 1. You're going to collect saliva only. Once you finish, put your sample in the freezer, and you may eat and drink after this, and you can also brush your teeth. Set a timer to go off 2 to 3 hours after this particular collection, and be sure to limit your fluid intake. For collection number 4, we're collecting urine only. Set a timer to go off between 4 and 5 p.m. for the next sample.
Since you're collecting between 4 and 5 p.m., there's a couple of alarms that I personally set to prompt me and remind me of what I need to do. If I want to collect at 4:30, for example, I will set an alarm at 3:30 that states no more food and drink, so that way I can remember to stop my food and fluid intake. Now, you also have to rinse your mouth out 10 minutes before collecting. So if I'm collecting at 4:30, I would also set an alarm at 4:20 to remind me to rinse out my mouth prior to collecting that saliva sample. You're going to do the same thing for the last collection of the day, which will be between 10 p.m. and midnight, or it might be earlier depending on when your bedtime is. So again, an hour before collecting, I have an alarm that says no more food and drink, and then 10 minutes before collecting, I do an alarm that says rinse out your mouth.
For collection number 5, we're avoiding food and fluid an hour prior to collecting, and we're also rinsing our mouth out 10 minutes before collecting. So when you're ready, you are going to do both urine and saliva, and don't forget to freeze your saliva sample and lay your urine sample flat to dry. For sample number 6, you're avoiding food and fluid for the hour prior to collection, and also rinsing your mouth out 10 minutes prior to collecting. When you're ready to collect this, you're going to do both urine and saliva. Don't forget to freeze the saliva sample and lay your urine sample flat to dry.
After all of your samples have been collected, make sure your saliva samples are in the freezer. Make sure the urine samples are drying for at least 24 hours. Once the time has passed, you can place everything back into the resealable bag and place that in the kit. Once the kit is complete, you have your forms filled out, all the samples are in there, you will place the kit in the actual bag that was sent with the kit to send back via UPS. My biggest piece of advice when collecting for the Dutch is to just be organized. Read through everything a couple of times, watch this video a couple of times, get your phone out, set your timers, set your alarms as your reminders, maybe write them out as well. Make sure you're going to collect on the proper day and stick to the things that need to be done for that. So again, no exercise, no caffeine, no alcohol, limiting your fluids. So take it all in, get organized, and you'll be just fine. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos, they are a resource for you. If you have additional questions about taking the Dutch, let me know down below in the comment section, or feel free to reach out for a free consultation at my website.